In the last episode, we upgraded our sawmill using some conveyor belts in order to automate logs, strip logs, and planks. And in today's episode, we're going to be digging an elevator all the way down to bedrock and setting up an automated brick farm, which is a resource we're going to need a lot of in the future. As always, remember to hit like on today's video if you enjoy the content, and also subscribe if you want to see more Minecraft Unlimited. Remember, you can also download the mod pack below using the link in the description. But today, we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get immediately started here in our warehouse, where I have a new contraption set up. So this is a deployer above our depot. We've replaced the mechanical press right now because we need to make something. So a rotational speed controller is going to be pretty vital to making this elevator happen, and that requires a precision mechanism. Now, to make a precision mechanism, you need a couple of resources, this gold sheet, and it needs to have a cog, a large cog, and then an iron nugget applied to it by a deployer. Now, in the future, we will be able to get a series of conveyor belts with these deployers to automate that process, but since we only need one today, I just want to show you how to do it a little bit more manually. So all you have to do is basically hand to this deployer a cogwheel, and it's going to stop deploying for a little bit until I put down a golden sheet. I'm just going to select one, I'm going to place that golden sheet down, and it's going to apply that very first piece. So now, as shown in the recipe earlier, I need to give it a large cogwheel, and all I need to do now is give it one iron nugget. And I think, oh, did I misread the recipe? I might have. It might have called for 5 times. So that has to happen 5 times, I think. Repeat sequence 5 times. Oh, very interesting. I missed that part when I was initially looking at it. So I have small cogwheels. Let me make up 3 more large cogwheels. That'll be good. And there we go. So after placing that last one on, I can grab my rest of my nuggets. Apparently I ran out of nuggets. Oh no, I didn't. They were right there. I don't pay attention very well. But that right there is a precision mechanism. So yeah, having a system that can send things through and then loop them through 5 times, that's gonna be a very complicated machine. But since again, we only need one today, it's gonna be easy enough to put this and a brass casing to get us a rotation speed controller. So I've already selected a spot where I wanna have this elevator shaft, and I've got a windmill up here. Now, what I need to do is get my rotational speed up a little bit, which I'm gonna do just like that. Bring ourselves a cogwheel right there, and that brings us up to a pretty high speed. So now what I need to do is get some vertical orientation right there, and I should be able to add this on, and this can increase the speed or no? I think I have to put it on like that. And now this can increase. Yes, so that is how it has to work. It has to go on the bottom where a gear is meeting it like that. And now I should be able, so let me rotate this whole operation around. Boom, just like that, we should be able to get some high speeds out of this. Now all that's missing for our elevator is a gear shift, which I'm gonna put right there, and then the rope pulley. And once I put this on, we should have it going down. And so the rope pulley is good about getting things going in vertical directions. But how do I get it back up? Well, that is where the gear shift comes into play. Now, once I put a lever on this, and I can just plonk it right on the side, I should be able to feed this a redstone signal, which the gear shift will do exactly as you just saw there. It'll change the rotational direction. And that's gonna be a very helpful piece of technology for a lot of machines we need to do, and this is gonna be our first one. So all I need to do now is right down in here, I need to put a set of andesite casings, just like so. And now I need to come a little bit lower, because I do need to get up under here, and add in my drills. And I just gotta make sure those are oriented in the correct direction. And that's exactly what we need right there. And after applying a chest to that, the last thing I really need to do is glue all of this together. So I can just glue this on as one big chunk, and then I can just glue the chest on, and that's all we need to do. And if I flip this switch, our drill is gonna start going down. And it's gonna run at a pretty slow pace because I haven't increased the speed yet. But if I increase this, I think I can go up to 32, and that just doubled the speed of it. How high can I go? I can go pretty much as fast as I want, which is fantastic. So that is gonna head all the way down to bedrock. So all I have to do now is effectively just wait. But while that digs, I'm gonna make some ladders, and I will catch up with you guys as soon as that is done drilling. Okay, so the pulley broke. I don't know what happened. It looks like it got down to bedrock, and I think it broke. Can I pull this back up? Is that possible? No, it doesn't look like it wants to come back. It looks like it has... Yep, it broke. I guess it got too deep. I'm guessing there's a limit to how far the pulley can go. Well, I've got to go down there anyway to get the materials, but let me show you what it's done. So it has gone, like I said, all the way down to bedrock. Now, I don't actually need it all the way to bedrock right now, but I wanted to go ahead and get it done anyway. So let's see what we have. Oh yeah, something definitely broke down here. Well, we have our ladder all the way down, and we've gathered some good materials along the way. I'll just go ahead and break everything else. I don't know if I can do anything about that. Can I break this? Yep, well that's gone now. Okay, fantastic. And now I should be able to bring this all the way up the ladder with me. It's gonna be a slow ascent, but I can bring all my materials thanks to the carry-on mod. And what we're actually gonna do is set up a system right about here. So I'm gonna put that chest there, where we are going to be now going horizontal. And with a little bit of work, I've got a drill up and running here. Now this is a fun design that I actually got from DSL 25. There's a link in the description to a tutorial on this, a similar model to this, but this is a very effective tool that you can have in your arsenal. It runs on a minecart, so it actually puts down its own layer of stone, or andesite in this case, and then some rails down, so it can continue going in an infinite direction for as long as you have the resources on hand. It'll also recycle these rails into this harvester here, and then it'll keep laying them, picking them back up, and recycling just like that. So all I need to do is put a minecart with a furnace on, ensure that this is locked, this cart deployer here is locked to lock rotation, and then I should be able, I've already glued all this, so I think it's ready to go if I do like that, and it's ready to go. Now, it does need some fuel. As you can see, it just picked up all of this contraption that I have. I should be able to get some fuel, and I can give it some more, and away it goes. It is on its way. And now the world is our oyster because we can just drill as much as we want to in a 5x5 radius or even more. I could expand this, have more drills, and it could just make these giant holes. And I'm already gathering some great resources, a lot of raw zinc, some lazurite, and some copper. And I'm just gonna let this go for a while, and we are gonna harvest up a bunch of resources, including stone, which is really the primary thing we're after right now. I think this calls for a quick time lapse. Oh, dealing with a bit of a silverfish infestation here. Okay, all right. Oh my god. Alright, and that's gone on for a good while. So now all I have to do if I want to retrieve this mechanism is just right-click right here on the minecart, and it all pops into my inventory in this minecart contraption, which is super convenient for traveling around and taking this to anywhere I want. I'm gonna pick up some of this iron and some of this coal, but I think that should be enough cobblestone. I went through a bit of an andesite cave there, but I'm really after cobblestone today because cobblestone is gonna be the gateway into getting ourselves bricks. So I'm gonna hold off on getting the elevator done until later. I might even do that in between episodes because today what is on our docket is getting that brick factory up and running because I can't actually make our large factory that I do wanna make without a lot of bricks. Now, technically, there is a design where you can use a cobblestone generator in order to fuel yourself a brick factory, but I don't feel like doing that because it feels kind of cheesy and I don't want that. So eventually, I do want to get a setup where we'll have some minecarts or trains going down underground, bringing back boatloads of cobblestone that we can use to fuel it. But right now, I think an infinite supply of cobblestone is just too cheesy, so we are going to be using a limited resource. But give me a moment here to sort through my inventory, figure out what I have, and get all the materials needed in order to make our brick factory, and then I will catch up with you guys shortly. Okay, so we're back here in our original workshop, and I have done some renovation off camera. So we didn't need the whole gear setup we had before because we now have this rotation speed controller. This is still a bit sloppy, but I did need to make some more brass because of what we're about to do over here. We need a lot of space for the next machine we're about to make, which is the mechanical crafter. Because a vital part of turning cobblestone into bricks is going to be a crushing wheel, which can only be made made with the mechanical crafter. And I just so happen to have a bunch of mechanical crafters in my hand. Now this is a very unique block because what you actually have to do is set up a bunch of these next to one another. And for this one, we actually need to make a sort of circular pattern, just like that right there. And you'll notice these arrows, and these arrows actually have to point towards the center, which I believe I can change just like this. So let me get all these pointing towards the center. I think these ones need to point down and towards, they all need to go towards wherever they're gonna output from, which I think I'm going to have outputting right here. It's been a while since I worked with one, but I think that is all correct right there. I'm gonna need to put a depot right here, and that's gonna spit it out, and then I'm gonna need to put a funnel right there. And if I do that just like so, I think that's all I need. So now I can take the recipe, which calls for planks. So let me make some planks real quick. It also calls for any kind of stone right in the middle. So if I set this up right, just like that, I think is correct. All I have to do now is using some cogwheels, which looks like I might need one more of. I should be able to get this running. It appears this contraption is overstressed. Well, we know how to fix that, don't we? At all? Possibly? Oh no, I might be a little bit overstressed. Right, so after looking into it, I realized the mechanical crafter doesn't have a speed requirement. It can go as slow as possible. So I have bumped us down to 12 right here in terms of rotational speed. And now if I put this here, it should be going. And there we have it. And so I've also set these up properly. I don't remember how to get it to exit, but I'm gonna see in a second here. Once it combines all these together with this cute little animation, it should come together. Oh, it looks like it automatically sends it down. Ah, see, now I'm wondering. So now I gotta send it out like so. So is this good? Oh god, what have I done? You have to understand, it's been a long time since I've played Create like this, and I have forgotten a lot of the mechanics. I think some of it even changed on me a little bit since I last picked this up fully. But let me see what I can do here. Right, so after much frustration, which is the name of the game when it comes to Create, I figured out I was just messing up the recipe. It can't be cobblestone in the middle, it has to be andesite, or something that's not cobblestone, basically. So I think I put a chest here, I've got all these going in this direction. Let's see how this operates. Oh, it's certainly looking like something's going on. Oh, that's a good sign. That's a great sign, and boom, just like that, we have made a crushing wheel. And it goes right here into this chest, which I'll have to grab because it's a chest. But I've made 2 crushing wheels! Just like that, I've made 2 crushing wheels, which is fantastic. I love it, love to see it. And I think this is gonna be the home of our mechanical crafter for a while, because we're gonna be able to change the shapes up and do a lot of fun stuff with it. But now that we have our crushing wheels, I am going to pick a spot to be the start of our brick manufactory, and I will catch up with you guys when we find that spot. And I do believe I have found that spot right here next to our sawmill, and I want to do it here because we have easy access to water, because until we can get a steam engine operation going, we're gonna have to rely on pretty much water and wind power, and I think water power is gonna be better for us for this build. And we're going to put it right here where I've cleared out some of this dirt. So I think I'm gonna make the building in a montage and then come back in to show you guys how we're actually gonna set up the brickworks inside. And I think the building we're gonna make today is not gonna be the permanent solution for our brick operation, but we can't make a larger brick factory over there on the island until we have a good supply of bricks. So today's building is going to be made out of a different material that we actually do have in spades: wood. So please sit back and enjoy today's montage as we make ourselves a brick shop. And just like that, we have our finished building. Now, this is a very interesting building to me. I think I like it a lot. I'm not sure how I feel about the oak textures that I've gone with here, but I know for sure I really do like this tin-looking roof that's made with some andesite pillars right there. And I love this dock, and I went a little crazy with the chisel and bits here for these details. I still have some work to do to make this look really nice. And I want to have something off the end here, sort of a silo of barrels that look like they're being filled up with cobblestone. And eventually, you know, one day we'll have a train line coming and dropping off cobblestone here once we get our train line set up. But that day is not today. Today, we simply are going to be getting the inside of this factory up and running. I've put some framework catwalk in because I kind of know what I'm gonna need to make this operation happen today. And I've got all the ingredients here in my inventory, and we are going to not waste any time, and we are going to get into the preliminary design. So I know that I need to basically, for now, come out here. And this is gonna be our first mechanical belt. This is gonna be the main conveyor belt that's gonna get our cobblestone down the line and turned into brick. Then I'm gonna need to put a chute right on top of this conveyor belt. In fact, I'm gonna need to pull back on this catwalk right here. There we go, that's unsafe. And then I'm gonna use the unsafe catwalk to get up here and put down our first step in this operation, which is a millstone. Now the millstone is going to turn our cobblestone into basically gravel? Yeah, cobblestone turns purely into gravel, so there's no byproducts we need to worry about. It is just gonna turn all of our cobble 1-to-1 into gravel. Now, in order to not have to come all the way up here to put our cobblestone in until we get it automated, of course, I'm gonna put a depot right about here, and then I'm gonna put an andesite funnel right there. And if I put this guardrail back up right here, that is going to prevent any of them from overshooting and landing on this catwalk here. It's going to make sure they all go in to that mixer. Then all I should have to do is bring another conveyor belt right down here. Just like that should work, and then I just need to have a funnel coming out. We'll have a storage unit, probably a barrel right here that's going to bring everything up this conveyor line. I think that is acceptable because that'll still, I think that still crushes right there. Which means I'm gonna have to do some sort of rotational energy within the floor or overhead here, whichever works best. Probably some vertical gearboxes. Well, either way, after they get crushed, that gravel is going to turn into two things. It's gonna turn into sand and it's going to turn into clay. Now the clay is just gonna be able to go straight through to the end to get smelted right over here, but that sand is gonna have to wait. So what I need to do is put a brass funnel right here and make sure that it's only allowed to have clay passing through it. So that is anything that goes up here is gonna stop until it turns into clay. Then what we're gonna do is have a fan up under here, and that's gonna launch some water up underneath. So I'm gonna put the fan right here, and then I'll put a bucket of water right there. So then all that clay is gonna hang out in that chest for a while. It's gonna come out here, and then it's going to get blasted with another encased fan, but this time that encased fan is going to be having lava shooting up. And then just as before, that's pretty much the end of it right now. We're going to have a funnel just like so, and that funnel is going to be filtered for brick. And as of now, that is pretty much where this ends. Every brick is going to get stored up in here. Did I? Oh, I get to keep the brick. Amazing. I didn't realize I get to keep the brick. I thought I had to sacrifice one to the filter. But all those bricks are going to end up in there, and eventually we will send something down into this little side room here. This is probably where we're going to have a mechanical crafter or some other means of turning this into brick. I think we can use a basin to compress these down into brick, but that is going to come at a future day because all I really need is single-use bricks. I don't need to turn them into brick blocks yet. And with all of that in place, that is effectively how all of this works. So I'm going to get all of our needs in place, our lava and our power sources all in place, and I will come back once we have the final product up and running. All right, well that took entirely too long, and I probably made this thing way more complicated than it really needs to be. But hey, eventually we'll get some electrical power and we will have this thing running very, very well. But for now, it'll do. It's fine. It gets the point across. And what I need to do now is I didn't end up getting this hooked up just because I don't really feel like doing it right now, and that'll come into play much later again when we get trains up and running. So what I'm gonna do for now is bring my cobblestone box right here. I'm gonna take it upstairs. I'm gonna replace that depot we have up here with this box. And the moment I put this in, if I did everything properly, oop, it got caught on the conveyor belt. If I did everything properly, this should work the moment I put this here. And as you see there, the cobblestone is beginning to fall into that millstone. That millstone is now grinding it up into gravel. That gravel is going through these dangerous little crushing wheels here. And right now, this should be shooting water up to turn this into clay. But it's not. I know exactly what's wrong. It's blowing the air in. It's pulling in air, not sending it out. Give me one moment. Okay, so basically I put a gearbox here, but because that was also powering one of the crushing wheels, I had to go in and put some more cogs down. And I also forgot a vital part of this. I do need to filter out the flint here. So all the flint that comes through these crushing wheels is going to now go into this box below, although it's got some other things in it. And now that should be set. So the sand is going in here. It's turning into clay balls. Any clay balls that get made already are going to come right out and move on through. And then once those clay balls get made, they come straight through and they get smelted here by this fan that's blowing lava onto them. They turn into bricks just like that. They get sucked in and we are left with these fun new texture bricks actually, because I think this is part of quark maybe? But you can throw these now. And they hit the wall just like that. And I think if you hit a window, did it do? No, apparently not. I guess these don't break windows. I thought that they did, but they don't. Oh well. That would be egg on my face. But we aren't in the business of throwing bricks. We are in the business of making brick blocks, and this machine is going to make that for us. It's a lovely machine inside of a lovely building, and we're gonna upgrade this. We might even fully move this out of this building like I mentioned before, or I might go in and use the bricks to actually replace this oak that's on these walls here, because I like it, but I also don't like it. But hey, that's what Minecraft Unlimited is all about, and with the power of the Create mod, there's physically nothing we can't do. But I think that is going to do it for today's episode, so again, thank you so much for watching, and if you are new, do be sure to go ahead and subscribe, and also like this video. It really helps out a lot, and it allows me to spend a lot more time on these videos and get them out more frequently. But as always, my name is Daniel, and I will see you guys next time.